Good morning, everyone. Curtis Krishnar here for the Florida Soccer Report on Beyond the 90. Was not expecting to be making a video this morning, but much like the surprising news about Tommy Sohn getting sacked by Birmingham, which happened right after a change in the front office with Legion earlier this week, we're talking about a sacking this morning, this time of Robbie Neilson by the Tampa Bay Rowdies. My shock about the move is that it's a Friday. It's a Friday morning. The Rowdies play their home opener. Remember, they've been on the road for a month because of the after effects of Hurricane Helene, which damaged Al Lang Stadium, and then Hurricane Milton, which made Tropicana Field, which was their backup venue, unusable for a year. Basically, the Tampa Bay Rays are not playing there at all this season in baseball. So they've been on the road for a month while Al Lang gets repaired. And they have not started the season well. But I'm still shocked that they made the sacking on a Friday morning. Now, I assume the sacking was actually made yesterday. But on a Friday, they announced it before they have their home opener. Little under 24 hours before they have their home opener against Loudoun United, a team that Robbie Neilson had a hard time beating last year, right? I think Rowdies fans were relieved when Loudoun didn't make the playoffs, quite frankly, because of how poorly they played in their two meetings with them yesterday. So maybe some anticipatory thing before that match, and then U.S. Open Cup match in Naples next week, which is going to be very difficult for Tampa Bay, and then playing Lou City. They have a gauntlet the next week, 3 matches that on the surface, it looked like they might lose all 3, quite honestly. I still thought that Neilson would be given the opportunity to coach through much of the season because Leo Fernandez continues to be injured and Forrest Lasso hasn't played a minute yet this season. Apparently he's been cleared, but really should only be paying 15 to 20 minutes. So that was surprising. But I will tell you something else that maybe was a tell that this was going to happen. And I have to say, in front of these comments, I really like Robbie Neilson's temperament. He was very different temperamentally than Neil Collins. But obviously, the results just haven't been good enough. Although I would argue the Rowdies squad is not quite at the level it was a few seasons ago, because I think they're being more practical. They're being smarter about finance. And they're selling guys like Connor Antley and Jordan Farr and Jordan Doherty when they have the opportunity. And Charlie Dennis, right? That's a significant one as well when they have the opportunity. So the squad has to be managed a little differently. But Robbie Neilson has preferred to play 3 at the back. 3-4-3. They've been consistently playing that formation with certain playing principles that are the same. The last 2 weeks, after losing the first 2 matches of the season, I thought played okay in Las Vegas, but lost, obviously, on that horrible error by Campisi, and then were horrible against Tulsa. They were just awful in that match, with the exception of the 2 midfielders, central midfielders, Chris Asomo and Cammy McPherson. With the exception of those 2 guys, they were awful. The whole team was bad. Against Miami FC, where they won 2-1, but of course we know that there was a missed penalty by Miami FC, and other opportunities Miami FC generated. And then this Charleston match where dodgy penalty. I still don't know that Bodily committed a foul, but that, set off a chain of events where Tampa Bay lost again. They went with 4 at the back and played a 4-3-3, which at times looked like a 4-2-2-2. It was different, right? And there was unevenness in those formations because it was new. Now, why did Neilson suddenly change the formation? I thought maybe it was because Nyanga Biri was away on international duty for the Miami game. He had to go to Burundi. So I thought, okay, that's kind of pragmatic from Neilson. But maybe he knew he was on the clock and he was trying something different. And then that formation was played against Charleston with Blake Bodily as a left back. Obviously committed the foul. I mean, I'm going to put in air quotes foul. Maybe it was a foul. Hey, if you're a Charleston fan, you might not like me saying that, but putting the air quotes. But I don't know. And that's the fault of the TV production crew. I wasn't there in person. I think actually, if you're there in person, you're probably still relying on replays. And there was no the angles were bad. The sun was in the lens, right? The timing was 6:25 or so local time in Charleston. But Bodley as a left back didn't come off well. Left wing back is totally different than playing left back. Aaron Guillen starting the last 2 matches on the bench. That was kind of confusing. He reintegrates Lewis Hilton into the 11, which I thought made sense. But again, they haven't played the best. So there's that. Tampa Bay is not accustomed to being in this position, right? Where we're talking regularly about 8 or 9 teams in the Eastern Conference that might be better than them. So that's one. Two, there might have been something else that happened behind the scenes. One other note, we'll have much more analysis on this as we learn more. James Knowles and I on the Florida Soccer Report, Jonathan Starling and I on the third half, and then just our written content on Beyond the 90. But to me, it's kind of interesting that Nicky Law isn't being made the interim head coach. He was the interim head coach when Neil Collins left to go to Sacramento. Nicky Law was brought back from Huntsville, where he had left. He had left Tampa Bay to go to Huntsville. Was brought back, was retained on the staff with Robbie Neilson. I'm not sure that move. Maybe shouldn't read much into it, but that also surprised me. So, Robbie Neilson sacked. I thought he'd be given more time because of the Lasso and Fernandez injuries, but very clearly the Rowdies don't look right. And while you can say they've been away from home, their performances, they've had some really bad performances. This is just pretty simple. They have not played well. I've made excuses about the Las Vegas match. I know I wrote a post-match story which made it sound like it was a match that was stolen, but the reality is the Rowdies still did not score a goal in that match. It doesn't matter how many chances they created. They did not. Their finishing was poor. And without Cal Jennings in the team, they have scored, how many goals have they scored? They scored 3 goals this season. Rubens Passius, the new signing, or I believe actually he's on loan from Nashville. He scored 2 of those goals, playing in the same kind of role Jennings played in. So they have 1 goal otherwise, which was from Crisostomo. Great strike against Miami. But yeah, it's not going well. Still, I'm surprised by the timing.